Hey everybody, PK here. Now, originally I was gonna upload another gaming video, but I decided I wanted to talk about something more interesting. Five Nights at Freddy's theories. Ah yes, the thing that keeps the franchise alive. But not just any FNAF theories, no, but dumb FNAF theories. Dumb FNAF theories from like Five Nights at Freddy's 1 all the way up to Sister Location. Because after Sister Location, people stopped making dumb theories. I think so anyways. I will be ranking these theories out of 10 from how good they were at the time and how good they are and hold up now. So without further ado, let's just get started. This theory came out just a bit after Five Nights at Freddy's 1 came out. The theory suggested that unlike all the other animatronics, Foxy was the only one that wasn't trying to kill you. And there were 3 reasons to support this theory. The first reason was because Foxy doesn't move when he is watched on the camera. And apparently it's because it lets him know you're alive, which is why he attacks so fast when you're not looking at the cameras, because he thinks something bad happened to you. The second reason was that Foxy banged on the door. This was so that he could scare off any threats from the office, or as a way to desperately get in to protect you. This theory is so dumb, man. And the major reason that everybody believed this theory was because of the dumbest reason by far. It was because Foxy's jump scare was him peeking through the door, which supposedly is him checking up on you. Yup, the main reason people believed this theory was because Foxy had a different jump scare than all the other animatronics. This is so dumb. So like, if Five Nights at Freddy's 1 came out and all the animatronics had a sideways door jump scare like Foxy, would they make a theory that all the animatronics are good guys? I still can't believe people over the age of 12 believed this damn theory. It was just so random. This theory for its time was like a 3 out of 10. It was incredibly random and didn't make sense, but for some reason people still believed it. And as of today, for obvious reasons, this theory is a 1 out of 10. For Five Nights at Freddy's 1, I have another bonus theory. Normally for each game, I would talk about one theory, but FNAF 1 had 2 that caught my interest. This theory suggests that when Five Nights at Freddy's 1 came out, people theorized that it was based on a true crime. And this theory came from the man and legend himself, MatPat. Basically, in real life, there was an incident that happened at Chuck E. Cheese, which I won't talk about much, but basically somebody went inside a Chuck E. Cheese and, well, no-scoped 5 people. Yeah, I don't want to get, spanked by YouTube. I gotta be careful with my words. And because in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, everybody already knew that 5 spirits were haunting the animatronics, mixed with the fact that the animatronics were based on Chuck E. Cheese-like animatronics, people just assumed that the story of Five Nights at Freddy's 1 was based on that real-life incident. And to be honest, at the time it was a really believable theory. Back then it was a solid 7 out of 10 theory. The reason it's not ranked higher is because a lot of people doubted the story was inspired by a real-life tragedy, and as of now the theory is a 3 out of 10 because we know damn well that the story isn't like that anymore. Okay, now this theory suggests that Michael Afton was the one that killed the 5 missing kids, instead of William Afton. But back then, Michael Afton was known as Mike Schmidt because we didn't know the Afton name yet during FNAF 2. And the reason people believed this theory was because of one stupid-ass reason. Apparently, when you reverse the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 trailer, the reversed singing at the beginning of the trailer sounds like the kids are saying, "Mike, kill all." Can't hear it? I don't blame you, because that's not what the hell they are saying. It is clear as damn day that the reverse trailer was just saying some nonsense and gibberish. At the time, this theory was a 2 out of 10. The people that heard Mike kill all was just fans of Five Nights at Freddy's, deluding themselves into hearing the thing that they wanted to hear. The only people that actually believed this were probably under the age of 13. And as of now, it's a 0 out of 10 for obvious reasons. Still, I will admit it would be interesting to see how Five Nights at Freddy's would have turned out if Michael Afton was the killer instead of William. Now, this isn't really a theory, more of a hoax. I know I said this video would talk about old FNAF theories that didn't make any sense, but for Five Nights at Freddy's 3 I couldn't really find anything, so I just decided to pick this to talk about. Basically, there was a theory slash hoax that when FNAF 3 came out, Phantom Bonnie was in the game, but he was hidden in the files or he was a really hard Easter egg to find. And the reason behind this theory was simple. There were Phantom versions of all the classic animatronics, and Springtrap wasn't technically a version of the actual Bonnie, so that obviously meant Phantom Bonnie was somewhere hidden in the game. Yeah, no. Although the logic made sense, everyone knew damn well that Phantom Bonnie was nowhere in the game. And the people that believed this theory slash hoax were probably people that got tricked by those fake videos. You know, the fake videos of spotting Phantom Bonnie in the game. However, it did make sense though. Phantom Bonnie should have been in the game if I'm being honest. But I guess Scott didn't want two Bonnie animatronics in one game. Except Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I guess. At the time, this was a 4 out of 10 theory, and as of now, it's obviously a 1 out of 10. Okay, this theory isn't exactly weird, because at the time it was an incredibly believable theory instead of being nonsense. Now, with a name like the Dream Theory, you would expect that it meant that Five Nights at Freddy's 4 took place in the crying child's dreams. But no, this theory suggested that every single game leading up to Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was in the crying child's dream. The first reason for this was the grandfather clock in the house, which sounded exactly the same as the clock we hear when we completed a night in all the previous games. Another reason for this was because in one of the mini-games of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, the crying child found a Toy Chica doll that was missing its beak. And who was missing a beak in FNAF 2? Toy Chica. And another major reason to back this theory up was the fact that one of the Foxy plushies in the mini-game of Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was missing its head, which explains why he was out of order in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. This theory was extremely believable at the time, a 9 out of 10 for sure. But now that we have more information on the lore, it's a 3 out of 10. Again, this isn't really a theory, but more of a joke. A joke that was made by Scott Cawthon himself. At first I didn't want to include this because Fnaf World isn't really a main game, but I decided to anyways because it was funny. Bounce Pot caused the bite of 87. Like I said, this is more of a joke entry. Basically, in the mobile version of Fnaf World, there was a moment in the game where Bounce Pot, one of the common enemies you encountered, says that they're the one that caused the bite of 87. Of course, this is a joke by Scott, but I decided to include it and I won't be ranking it. Now, this final theory I will talk about is possibly the most dumbass theory out of all of them. This theory came out right before Sister Location released, and the theory suggested that the Sister Location animatronics were used for adult fun. The reason for this was that in the Sister Location teasers, the phrase is, "There's a little of me in everybody and the show is about to begin," made it sound like it was in an adult setting. Not only that, but some people said that the animatronics had seductive designs, which... how? I mean, the only exception to this was Bellora, I guess, but even she looks a little weird. Not only that, I remember some people saying that the animatronics had seductive voices.
Well, hello again!
Damn, I just busted. This theory was just plain stupid, and the fact people believed this actually made me want to give up on humanity. It was a 0 out of 10 then, and it's a 0 out of 10 now. The stupidest theory out of all the games. And I'm gonna end it there. I couldn't find any dumb theories about FNAF Pizzeria Simulator and, then on. This was a fun little video to make to, revisit the stupid things the fan base of Five Nights at Freddy's came up with. Although it was dumb, it was really fun. I still can't believe that some people actually believe these theories. People over the age of 12. 2 of the theories in this video weren't exactly dumb. It was just very believable at the time. But now that we have more info on the lore with the new games, it's clear they are false. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little fun video. I don't have much more to say, so guess that's it, everybody. See ya.